with our generation, we're a little more privileged than those before. I mean, with the opportunity to be able to communicate, with the age of technology among us, it makes things a lot easier. I would still say that for any entrepreneur, I think can tell you, it's the pull the trigger. You're going to come to the edge of the cliff, and all you got to do is jump. You got to have the faith in yourself, and once you're into it, you got to commit to that path. You can't be shy, and you can't be fearful of anything that comes about. You really just got to be able to kind of conquer adversity as it comes at you.
And where do you see, I know they've got a lot of apps coming out. This is a little bit new to me, all these apps, and then they've got other things coming out. I was reading, today in something that there was another name for another thing coming out that's like apps. How do you keep up with all these new things that are coming on, and what advantage would apps be to you?
That's a great question, because with the website and with the age of information and technology among us again, the traditional internet user is actually transitioning to a mobile platform versus the desktop. So when you're doing that, especially with something like us where we have a really engaging content website, that doesn't always translate from the laptop, desktop computer over to the iPhone, BlackBerry, etc. So it's kind of like picking what's the best of the litter and being able to present that in the most easy to read format. I think with the way businesses are coming, and especially entrepreneurs, the ability to transition to a more mobile format and make your business model a little more streamlined and kind of cut out the fluff really helps you to be able to interact with that audience, which is going to be the next brand of consumers. So.
And that is definitely the next brand, isn't it?
It is absolutely, and we're even in conversation of our own app. We got to figure out what we're going to do, because we have the events, we have the content online, and just kind of finding the perfect blend of that and keeping the user engaged.
How do you find that? How do you get to find your blend? Because you're different.
That argument happens internally all the time. Not argument, but debate. I'm big on the content, whereas we can go big on the article end. We can go big on like how we're going to press the events end. So I think it's and most companies say the same thing, and everything that we've been reading, it's all about being as stimulating as possible. So you're seeing that what was once a big thing on content in terms of photographs to a transition of being a media oriented, so being video, being audio, like we're doing here today. You got to be able to capture.
People want to see action. They want to see, as you said, they want to see something like we're doing today. It's funny you should say that, because I had a TV show for 15 years for the younger generation. And my thing was I always wanted to go on the internet, and I was fortunate enough to find Real Coaching Radio. He found me. I don't know who found each other, but anyway, we found each other, and I was able to start my show on the internet. And this was like the biggest thrill for me, because I was dying to do this, and I couldn't find the right connection. And I found the right connection. I've been doing it for a couple of years now, and it's just amazing. So I'm sort of, even being in the older place where I'm at, I always think young, because I surround myself around young people. And then I see these new things coming out, and it's sort of, it's like, ooh, I've got to keep up with it. Or how do we keep up with all this stuff?
That's a good question. I think we're doing...
For me, never mind you. I mean, on the vice versa, it's easier for you than me, that's for sure.
We're all trying to keep up, and that's it. It's just it's about being abreast of what's coming next, and trying to, I don't know, even not to say that being in the know as much as it's being a great predictor of what's to come. If you're seeing something that's working, I think it's going to be a lot of trial and error. With any new science, it always is. So I think a lot of what we're discussing here is kind of the new science of marketing in today's technological platform. So we've been experimenting as much as we have. We've had success in the business model. We've had failure. So I think that's where we've made our big transition. We're huge fans of video.
Unfortunately, we always learn by what we fail on. So, when you fail on something, I always think it's a good thing, because you're going to learn now for the next one, because you're not going to do that again. So sometimes it's a good thing not to do it right and move forward.
And just be careful, too, to not extend yourself too heavily. When you take a chance, it's always great to make, with great risk comes great reward, but, you don't want to extend yourself to the point of detriment. So you don't, that was something we had to do in the beginning, because we were three guys with whatever we had saved at that point in our lives. We started this company with, and that wasn't a huge capital structure. So we really had to work with what we could and make the the great ideas and the budget friendly stuff really go the extra mile.
I like what you just brought up. It's not always money to get you where you need to get. Everybody thinks you need these hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, and it really isn't, because you are three young people that started out with a very minimal budget, obviously, and also to continue every day, every week with this budget, and to be able to sort of keep it together. How did you all manage that, and without having? You may have had some heated conversations. I'm sure you all had some heated conversations, but at the same time, you've still stayed together, and you are making it work.
Yeah, we managed it the best way we could. We basically had all of our pennies in the pot, and we had one great event, and we just kind of built it on that. It was, if this thing hits, we're going to do well. If it doesn't, then we're not. And thankfully, again, our community really came out for us and have helped us to succeed. And in the meantime, we've got Lenny, who does a great job of kind of telling us no whenever we want to add something.
He's the guy with the money, right?
No, he does. He manages all the accounting for us. So when we put together an event idea, or if we do the budgeting, we submit. We build the next Olympic Games for every event. But when it comes down to put it on paper and where the dollars can go, we'll start with the Olympic Games, and we'll end with the high school intramural track.
That's when Lenny comes in and keeps you on track, and he